hold back. Sometimes you got to hold this. This thing here is evil. This thing here will break up families. To put up with, forbearance means to refrain, to bear with, to control. There are things in all of us that we have to put up with. People have to put up with a lot when dealing with us. Everyone else is guilty of something. We got some weakness. We know we got some unattractive behavior. Then we just got some wrong behavior. Then we'll mistreat this one and treat this one fine. Things we'll neglect, failure, bad habits. Then we got some irritating behavior. There's some things that just turn other people off. I'm your pastor, and I know some things here that it just really turn you off. And you can find a better church and a better pastor, and if God say move, you'll be out of here. Because I know sometimes I get on your nerve. That corn on your toe that God haven't healed, I know I step on it every Sunday. None of us can escape that. And then there's some of us that there's some things that we do that irritate people. You can't escape it. So God said we got to be clothed with forbearance. We're putting up with people. Romans 15:1 says, we then that are strong ought to bear the infirmity of the weak, and not to please ourselves. Paul in Galatians 6:2 say, bear you one another burden, so fulfill the law. You got to put up with some things. You got to put up with your best friend's children. Got to put up with your best friend's husband. That's that deacon in the church. You don't hate him, but you know sometimes you say, I wish Deke would get on beat. Everybody else on beat, he off beat. You say, oh, man, when somebody go there and tell him, just don't clap. But the one next to you that sing, you got to put up with it, and they're always singing off key. Then the forbearance, the garment of forgiveness. As a child of God, we must be forgiven. That means we got to be gracious to a person to pardon him for some wrong done against us. Because you have to be careful about what I can't control what you do against me. I can only control what I do against you. Because when you stand before God, He gonna judge me for how I treated you. When you stand before God, He ain't gonna ask you how I treated you. You can say, how did you treat Pastor Wright? That's what He gonna do. Christ has forgiven us. No matter how wrong a person has done us, we cannot go tit for tat. Mark 11:25, when you stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespass. Some of us don't remember this. In the Watergate episode that nearly tore America apart in the early 70s, President Nixon had just resigned in disgrace, and the new president, Gerald Ford, granted Nixon a free, full, and absolute pardon. So then mid-America, they say, struggle with the decision. President Ford did the very thing that God wants each of us to do when someone hurt us. Forgive. And go on with our life. So the portion of Ford's statement, he said, quote, my conscience tells me clearly that certainly that I cannot prolong the bad dreams that continue to reopen a chapter that is closed. My conscience tells me that only I, as president, have the constitutional power to firmly shut and seal this book. And so it was for the Christian believer. When we put on the garment of forgiveness, we have the power to set people free. Sometimes people dodge us because we haven't forgiven them. Sometimes people dodge us because they haven't forgiven us, and they say that they're Christians. The last one, the garment of love. Above all, the believers to put on the garment of love. Love is to be the main garment of the believer's new life. It's called the bond, which holds everything together. of perfection. That is, love binds all the clothing of great quality of the believer's life together. If the believer has put on love, if he really loved people, if she really loved people, then him or her is always clothed with mercy, with kindness, with humility, with meekness, with long-suffering, with forgiveness and forbearance. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. And this is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Mark 12:29-31. Why is it that some believers overlook the essential quality of love? Are you loving and lovable to all people, or just to some, just to your group? Who does God command you to love? Just your family, your friends, your neighbor? You have been raised in a family where love was not expressed, even felt. How can you learn to love? Who should be the role model for showing love? What can you do that will help you feel comfortable in expressing love? Saints, we're in a world now that people, especially the black race, is still talking about slavery. We're in America now where we throw away the history book and we're hating people that family members died during the civil rights, in the Civil War rather, that black people might be free. Remember, during the Civil War, black people didn't have guns. Remember, they were slaves, most of them, and it was the white man from the north fighting the white man from the south that we might be free. It was a white man in the white houses that had the homes along the way for the Underground Railroad. Oh, but we don't remember that. It's a black and white thing with where's the love? Where's the meekness? Where's the forbearance? Where is the kindness? If we are the elect children of God, holy and beloved, we got to put on mercy, kindness, humility, meekness, patience, forbearance, forgiveness, and above all, we got to have love. By this shall all men know that you are my disciple, that you have love one to another. Where's the love? God has commanded us to love one another as I have loved you. God bless you, and may heaven smile on you today.